Call the meeting to order. Welcome everyone here this evening. It's nice to see a crowd again. So we'll get right to business. I think we're going to have a rather short meeting. The first item, I'll ask Emily Rodriguez to come up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Whenever you're ready.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And Emily, if you will just wait right there for a minute, I'm going to. The second item is approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Made and second, all in favor? And the motion carries. Each month we recognize a student and a teacher from one of our local public schools. And this evening they are from the Zebulon Gifted and Talented Magnet Elementary School. And Emily Rodriguez is the student there. Obviously, I don't think you're old enough to be a teacher. So. Let me read what was written about Emily. Emily is an awesome student with a never-give-up attitude. Emily came from Honduras to Zebulon Elementary School last November. Since that time, she has shown so much determination in her education. She has a natural drive to learn and to do her very best. In her short term in the United States of America, she has been able to learn to speak, read, and write English. She always works hard and is a positive role model among other students. In addition to working hard academically, she is athletic and is a very good sport. It is with great honor that her name has been submitted today, and it's our honor to recognize her as the Student of the Month. You want some pictures? Come on over if you want. Come over here. I'll run it for you.
Camera just going.
The teacher is Timothy Chartrand, and I'll read what has been written about Mr. Chartrand. I've had the honor as serving as the building, come on. I've had the honor of serving as the building level principal for Timothy Chartrand for the past 2 years. In that time, Mr. Chartrand has demonstrated time and again his commitment to innovation and results. As a leader, his actions are guided by his values. This school year, Mr. Chartrand saw a void in opportunities for student leadership. He and I spoke and agreed that a safety patrol would be a great vehicle to further the cause. After that conversation, Mr. Chartrand contacted the chief of police, organized a meeting with the chief, and created an implementation plan for our student safety patrol. Mr. Chartrand thought that a student's socioeconomic status should not be determined by the educational experiences of that child. Mr. Chartrand started this year determined to give every fifth grade student the opportunity to participate in an overnight field trip to Washington, D.C. He partnered with the PTA and solicited the support of leaders in the community to secure scholarships for those students who could not afford to pay the $200 for the trip. The money was secured, and every fifth grader will be able to attend Washington, D.C. this year in that trip. Zebulon Elementary students now have the opportunity to participate in after-school robotics program free of charge. Mr. Chartrand has taken on this responsibility as well. Mr. Chartrand's actions speak volumes about his dedication to the teaching profession. He acts as an advocate for children every day and uses his connections along with his power of persuasion to encourage others to advocate in the same manner. And that was written by the principal, David Newkirk. Okay, at our first monthly meeting, which we refer to as a regular business meeting, which is this, each month we have what I will refer to as an open mic. So people can come and 5 people, 3 minutes apiece, can stand and speak whatever's on their mind. This isn't an interchange type period. It's just an opportunity for people to come and speak, and we listen to them. So we've had 4 people sign up this evening. Each of them will have 3 minutes. I'll ask you to pay attention to the lights at the podium. Greens go, yellows caution, reds you're out of time. So first is Scott Carpenter.
Mr. Mayor and Commissioners, good evening. My name is Scott Carpenter. I was bumped from last month's meeting due to time constraints, so I'm pleased to speak to you tonight. At the January 8th Commissioners meeting, we heard it mentioned that very few people knew the history of Moore's Mill and the Little River Dam. To help address this, I'm providing to each of you an article from Preservation Zebulon's winter newsletter about the dam's 150-year history. In 1868, William Collier Moore, the Civil War veteran and later a Wake County Commissioner, purchased the land, a grist mill, formerly known as Foster's Mill, and equipment from A.J. Foster for the price of $2,500. It is likely that the dam and the mill are much older than 150 years old, and the residents of this community feel that it is priceless today. I also represent a group that formed since the last meeting, the Save the Little River Dam group. This is formed by residents and property owners in Zebulon and the vicinity. This is a group that is different from other groups that you may know about or have heard of. We are concerned about the 3-2 vote against repairing the dam that occurred at the last meeting. We ask the commissioners to reconsider their decision and to vote again, this time for repairing the dam. Members of this group met to discuss information about repairing and maintaining the dam. We understand that repairing the dam with the new engineering specifications would cost an additional $85,000 over the $815,000 rebuilding cost so that it would not fail again. FEMA would very likely fund such an effort. We understand that once it is repaired, insurance for the dam and inspections would cost roughly $2,600 a year. We feel this would be money well spent. We also note that the town staff recommended against rebuilding the dam and instead recommended FEMA money be used for an alternate project. We respectfully disagree with that recommendation. We'd like to see an application go to FEMA and the state to rebuild the dam. To ask for an alternate project with FEMA monies may be turned down by FEMA, and as the funds are to answer for emergency needs caused by the hurricane. For example, several people in the group Save the Little River Dam have done research and discovered that FEMA funding cannot be used for land acquisition. A FEMA application to repair the dam would very likely be approved. An application for an alternate project runs the substantial risk of being declined. Why would you run the risk of leaving money on the table, thus potentially creating a huge embarrassment for this town? We ask for 3 things. 1, as the dam is an iconic historical marker for Zebulon, we ask the commissioners to reconsider their decision to vote to repair the Little River Dam and to designate it as a landmark. 2, if the town places an application for FEMA for funding of anything other than rebuilding the dam, that a public hearing be held prior to the application being submitted. And 3rd, we ask the commissioners, especially those who voted in opposition, to meet with our group to share your concerns and to hear ours. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Cynthia Privet.
This is almost as intimidating as standing in front of people defending my dissertation. But thank you for allowing me to speak tonight regarding our interest in your decision not to rebuild the Little River Dam. Interested citizens would like to request that you revisit that decision. We feel in your earlier meeting a vote was taken without enough consideration given to the questions and concerns expressed by the speakers. Additionally, a petition expressing the opinions of many of the citizens was provided to you. This appears to have been ignored. In all honesty, it appears a decision by board members had been made prior to the meeting. And it is not our intent to be negative or argumentative. We think it's imperative that we help by joining forces. While the significance of the cultural history of the dam cannot be overly emphasized, we also respect the desire to develop the area into something that can be enjoyed by everyone. However, while we hear about plans and possibilities for greenways or trails, no details or definitive plans for the park have been provided. We simply do not understand why FEMA funds to repair the dam cannot be used to pursue matching grants to improve the aesthetics of the area. In other words, we feel it is in the best interest of the community to do both. And to do both, maybe we need to take a step back, explore possibilities, and then make more informed decisions. Since the January meeting, a visit to what is fondly called Dave's Beach shows that much of it has been washed away and otherwise damaged by the river as it flows now. It is no longer stable. Also, we understand from a landowner who lives further down the river that the silt that has previously been held back by the dam has now flowed down and filled a good bit of the river. A backyard that maybe had a little water after a heavy rain is now being flooded to the point of washing the grass away and covering over half the yard. This is not okay. It was reported in your business session that more people used the park before the dam was damaged than now. This reinforces the fact that the Little River Dam attracts not only Zebulon citizens, but it is also a unique attraction to eastern Wake County. Again, this is an example of how important it is to make sure that we have all the information gathered, we have it examined, and informed decisions are made. Tonight, please know, a citizens committee has been formed to work with you. We serve as the voices for the majority of Zebulon citizens wanting to see the Little River Dam rebuilt. It is our desire to be a positive force in reaching decisions that promote the progressive growth of Zebulon. We sincerely hope that you as a board welcome our input and are interested in our views. Unfortunately,
You need to wrap up, ma'am. You're out of time. Okay.
Unfortunately, that is not the message you sent at the last meeting. This will go a long way in demonstrating to everyone a sense of shared respect between Zebulon's elected citizens and its citizens. Thank you.
Thank you. Denise Now.
Good evening, Mayor, Board of Commissioners. Just wanted to share with you a few things that are coming up. The Zebulon Chamber's annual meeting and celebration is Thursday, February 15 at East Wake Academy. We are excited. The Honorable Vivian Jones from the City of town of Wake Forest is coming, and as a friend of the mayor's, she's going to share some of the perspectives on where Wake Forest was about 12 or 15 years ago, some of the things that they did to be progressive in making plans for the growth that was headed their way, and ways that we can take advantage of making some of those decisions as well. So I think it'll be a good opportunity to just hear some thoughts from her perspective. Lauren Gold with the Greater Raleigh Convention and Visitors Bureau will also be sharing that evening. There is a countywide destination strategic plan that they're undergoing right now. One of the things that they've said that they'd like to give more attention to is some of the areas, including Zebulon, that have much to offer for destination, like the Mudcat Stadium, and then like what's emerging as a good event for Zebulon, which is May Day in Zebulon. So then our new friend of Zebulon, John Clark, will also be our MC, so he's looking forward to being with us again, and I think he does a really great job. Also wanted to just share that there's some great things happening. I'm sure that you guys have felt some of the energy that's happening in the downtown area. The painting for Whitley Galleries has happened. I've got a couple of business owners who have said that they're ready for entertaining conversations about possibly a pub or possibly a coffee house or a bakery, things like that. So there's some good things that are happening and good conversations that are starting right now. Then I also just wanted to share too, it was great to see Mr. Chartrand recognized earlier. He has reached out to the chamber to say that there's an elective that his class is offering this year. It's called Leaders in Leadership. And they're looking for business leaders that would like to come and talk to their classroom about understanding what it takes to be a successful leader or business owner. So if you're interested in participating with that, it would be about a 35 to 45-minute conversation with some 4th and 5th graders. Just contact the chamber and we would love to connect you for that. So thank you for all you do.
Thank you. And finally, Tom Gaddy.
Mayor Matheny, commissioners, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom Gaddy. I've lived in and around Zebulon for 50 years or so. I heard, I didn't catch your, what's your name? No, you spoke, the lady that spoke.
Oh, City Clerk.
Okay. I don't recognize you. Anyway, she used the term unique attraction. Would most people in this room agree that that little dam is unique? You know what the definition of unique is? The only one. And we have it. Interestingly enough, I did a little research. If you didn't know our town address and just put in town of Zebulon in Google, and you hit the home page, there's a picture of the dam about that big. Also, on our brochure that people pick up that tell about our town, there's a really nice picture of a little dam here. Excuse me. I think if there is a fairly good chance, and I understand there is, to get the FEMA monies to repair the dam, that we should most assuredly ask for that money. If there's not anything else in town here that we think would remotely qualify for it, and I think it should be used for that purpose if it is agreed to. So I do agree with a lot of these people here that you reconsider your decision on repairing the dam.
Thank you, sir. Okay, appreciate everyone coming in to speak. Like I say, we have the open mic every meeting, 3 minutes per person, 15 minutes maximum. So again, I thank everyone that took the time to come in and share their comments with us. The next item is the consent agenda.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion made, second. All in favor? Thank you. Motion carries. The next item is has actually been pulled. It's the alley encroachment request by Dallas Pierce, and he has pulled that request. But we left that on the agenda because I was concerned when I saw this that there was no encroachment agreement presented, and so what I would like for this board to do is ask our town attorney to draw a template for future requests of encroachment agreements. I know that you and I had talked about that with Masonic Lodge maybe a year ago or more. Sure. They wanted to use the old water tank site. So if we have the template ready, then it's a matter of massaging it to the specific need. So I would ask the board if we give him instructions to go ahead and get a template so that in the future we can proceed.
So moved.
Motion? Second. Other comments or discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Thank y'all. I think that'll be a useful tool. And finally, we have the audit contract. Bobby?
Good evening. With the completion of the fiscal year 2017 audit a couple months ago, that finished a 3-year contract with Joyce & Company, our auditors since fiscal year 2003. So you have in your agenda packet a proposal for another 3-year contract. You'll see there for the fees for the next 3 years. It's on page 2 of the proposal. For next year, $30,600. FY19, $31,800, and $33,000 maximum. Those are maximums, not to exceed. It could be less. So if anybody has any questions or comments?
Questions? Okay.
I move that we renew the contract with said company.
Okay.
Second.
Motion made, second. Other comments or discussion? All in favor? And the motion carries. Thank you, Bob. Thank you. All right, I said it'd be short. Board comments. Dale, I'll start with you.
I don't have anything.
Okay, Don?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank everyone that's come out tonight, especially those that have spoken about the Little River Dam. I think I made some comments last time after the meeting was over about how I felt about this dam. I hadn't changed my mind yet. Just because it was voted down doesn't mean it's over. Just want you to know that. That's all, Bob.
Chris? Beverly? Okay, Joe?
Yes, sir. First of all, just a public service announcement reminder that this Friday is movie night down at the community center. And this week we're showing Cars 3. And then I want to recognize our planning director, Mark Hetrick. He's going to report back to you on a question that you all had a question about regarding shopping center lights. And then after him, I'd like to recognize Chief Hayworth for introduction of a new employee.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the board. There was, Mr. Macon came before you last month and addressed some of his concerns with regards to lighting at some of the commercial shopping centers and some of the improvements out there. So we've looked into that. All the shopping centers that we currently have were basically developed some time ago prior to the adoption of a lot of our codes. Which mean that a lot of the current codes, especially those currently listed in the street and storm drain specification manual that addresses site lighting and things of that nature, unfortunately aren't addressed within these shopping centers because of the age of the development. That doesn't mean that we still haven't reached out to them between Public Works and Planning. We reached out to Bailey and Associates, who's currently working on some of their lighting issues. There are some lighting under the sidewalk that they're looking at as well to make sure that there's some safety there. Cayman Realty was another one that was contacted. They're having an electrician go out, look at their lighting, see if there's any issues that need to be addressed there. Victor Guillen with Compare Foods Shopping Center has also directed his property manager to investigate and remedy any issues that there may be on site there as well. Just as a reminder, I know we're getting the new website up and running. Duke Energy also has a spot on their website where it has requested light repair. So if you notice a light out, whether it's a street light, shopping center, as long as the shopping center lights have a Duke tag on them, I believe. Some of the individual shopping centers, I guess Dollar General is one, that the lights are owned and maintained by themselves, not by Duke. So there are some of those issues. If it is a Duke light, it'll have a light number on it. you can either call, request it to be looked at for repair, and they'll get out there as soon as possible to make that repair. With regards to our Unified Development Ordinance, we're currently developing it. Some of the things that we've talked about, namely with some of the downtown focus groups, is kind of a uniform maintenance code of non-residential commercial type shopping centers. So that's something we currently do not have on the books. We've talked about it with our consultant. That certainly is something that could be addressed if you wanted it to be in there. One of the things that we do fight with with some of the commercial shopping centers is light bleed off into residential areas. So we are cognizant on trying to make sure that there is sufficient lighting for the shopping centers and for safety and security of the patrons, as well as after hours. But we also want to make sure that there's not a lot of light bleed off onto some of the adjoining residential properties, because we do get some complaints from adjoining properties as well. So if there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Dollar Tree, no lights at all. And hadn't been since way before Christmas. Have you contacted them, and are they, what's the problem? You shouldn't go that long without lights for the safety reasons.
Yeah, Dollar Tree all the way down to Carly C's is all Cayman Realty. So their electrician is looking into all their lighting, and we'll certainly be in touch with them on any repairs that are needed. But they did have an electrician go out and assess it, and I don't have a date on any repairs. That's the only update we have at this time.
Well, it should be something where they gotta have it fixed in such and such a time period, really, because it's just too dark out there.
Other comments? Questions? Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it. Joe?
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I want to introduce to you our newest police officer. This is Christopher Ham, and he comes to us. He's originally from the Rocky Mount area, where he attended Northern High School there. Then he went on to Nash Technical College, Community College, and from there he went to Northampton County Sheriff's Office. And so we hired him after he's been at Northampton County Sheriff's Office, was there almost 4 years. And then he wanted to come back to this area. His wife is originally from Pilot, and they have a 2-year-old baby, and they wanted to get back here around family. And so we've hired him, and as soon as his uniforms get in and we get his paperwork back from Raleigh, we're going to put him to work.
Welcome. Glad to have you.
That's the end of our report.
All right. Thank you, folks. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
We're adjourned.